Welcome to Seven Trumpets Prep. Guys, I want to tell you something. I just got done getting that quick video out for going to speak at Boom Church in Georgia. If you didn't see it, that link's in the video description below as well. But I want to tell you something from the bottom of my heart, and I hope people can see this today, something positive out of it, because I don't want it to come across negative. It's just the state of the world. And I tell a lot of hard things, and I know people seem to take it pretty rough. And matter of fact, I made a video about choosing the right partner the other day, and I'm still shocked that at this point in time, so many people agreed with that. It's in the thousands of views and not a single dislike it. I am shocked that like that went over that well, but like people got what I was saying, and I hope you can get what I'm saying today. And the link to that video is in the description below if you missed that. Is that we live in a perilous time. The world is in a state right now that I wasn't planning for it to be at. Like it's kind of took some twists and turns, not exactly how I had planned out leading up to what's going to be the end of all things in the Seven Trumpets Revelation, right? At the end of this age, anyway, in the coming kingdom of the Most High Yah. But what I will say to it is this: whether you are a Hebrew or Gentile, I actually think it's harder right now, personally, for Gentiles to come to the truth than the Hebrews, because it seems like once a Hebrew figures out who they are, at least they have a collective group to go to, whereas Gentiles and all of us scattered across the nations, we are leaving such fractured churches, coming out of Babylon, that it's kind of hard for us to find one another, because that we've all been indoctrinated so many lies. Not only that, the false deities of ancestors and false worship of how all this stuff goes on. It's really a struggle. And what is really rough is that when you do come to the truth, whether Hebrew or a Gentile of the nations coming to the truth and won't serve y'all, the thing I guess that's really annoying, I guess I would say, heart-wrenching, is that you'll have family and friends that you dearly love, and they just will never get it. You have to understand and accept it that they'll never probably be in the kingdom. And that's not judging. That I mean, if you want to say that is judging, that's judging righteous judgment, because I'll give you an example. Every time you go over that person's house and they still want to offer you a sausage biscuit, they obviously don't care the fact that you're trying to do the right thing and not eat that which is profane. Or every Sabbath you're sitting there trying to read the word, and at 12 o'clock noon when you're in the middle of the word, just like this happened to me, as many times this happened to me, and you're in the middle of reading the word, and somebody blows your phone up asking you to do something for them on Sabbath when you already offered to do it the day before, the day after, or any time other. But of course it needed to be done right then on Sabbath. I see this all the time. Customers will call me too, like their whole world falls apart. Somebody has their whole world fall apart and needs something done on Sabbath, or a service call or something somewhere. I mean, like, I've seen it so many times over the years. It can be, and it wouldn't matter, and please note, I'm not trying to beat up on people I've worked for off-grid construction. It wouldn't matter if it wasn't off-grid. See, I could be working a corporate job and my manager let me off that day, and then all of a sudden somebody called in sick, and then they'd need me to come in and work that day. I want you to understand clearly, like, I'm not like just speaking to my own situation. Like, this is an encompassing thing you have to understand. And then we go another layer deeper, is that you have people come to the truth, and the next thing is then racism creeps up in their heart, and then it's, I hate the nations. The white man is the problem for everything. And then later down the road they figure out, oh shoot, the white man ain't even Esau. He's from the seed of Japheth. And then the clarity comes, but that's after you're already like bashed on a bunch of people, and then you go layers deep, and then it's like it doesn't matter Hebrew or Gentile. When you get deep into the truth, and I'm talking deep, then you get to the point where it's like, well, you didn't say Yahushua right. I can't deal with that. I can't fellowship with you. You're terrible. I can't believe you believe in the flat earth under a firmament dome. I can't believe you believe those people that the black man's the true Hebrew Israelites. Like, I can't stand black people. Please note, I'm not saying that as if it's me. I'm saying that's how people act, right? Because I've seen it on here, on this channel. Somebody one time said that if Messiah was black, then he wasn't his savior. See? It's just that simple. People's hearts start pouring out how they really feel after you start going through the layers, all right? Through the layers. And then you get down there, and it's like the Sabbath. Dude, I break open the scripture about the true scriptural calendar. How like SATURN day and SUN day ain't the true Sabbaths. And people can handle the SUN day, but when you rip in on SATURN day, and I just break it down real simple, like one calendar. I just have to go like one Roman calendar and be like, right here, you see this stick calendar, how that SUN day used to be the last day of the week, and SAT day used to be the first day of the week, and then this deity worship became more prominent, so they moved that to the end of the day, and it got booted. And then, of course, this next Roman calendar comes, SATURN day, guys, not to break your heart, but it's not always been the Sabbath from creation. You need to look at from counting from the new moon to Sabbath, and you can find out more about the Creator's calendar at worldslastchance.com. And I'm going to always defend that. I don't care if you people get in your feels or not, all right? Because in the new kingdom, Isaiah 66:23, all flesh will come worship before y'all on the new moons and the Sabbaths, just like it states. And it's going to be on his timekeeping, so you ain't going to have Rome to deal with and count off of and use her little fancy counter anymore from the beast. Great whore in Rome. And sorry, guys, I'm probably worked up today, but I just think about it. Then we go another layer deep. Okay, so we funneling down from like I said, from family and friends, doing ridiculous stuff, affecting your faith. And it's not just like Sabbath. I'm just saying, like I said, trying to feed you pork, trying to get you to do all sorts of wickedness, right? Well, then, and all them layers, like we just funnel down now like deep pillars of truth. Then you go another layer deeper, is you have to understand that the point in time we're in, just because you call somebody a brother, doesn't mean they really love you or y'all. Now, I know this is deep, okay, but just like I said in that video about relationships the other day, sometimes love is not enough. Judas walked right beside Messiah and still done him wrong. Now, here's the thing. I've said, I don't know how many times over the years, there's a Judas in every crowd, but there's a Judas in your family. There might be a Judas in your marriage. There might be a Judas in your fellowship. There might be multiple Judases. And later down the road, right now, the rubber's starting to meet the road. But it's not roasting the tires off. It's not really, the heat's not applied yet. During Rona has taught me a lot. It has shown me that I used to think that because I didn't have like Arnold Schwarzenegger knobs and, twice the arm I got right now, that, I wasn't a mighty man. I was weak, even though that still have quite a bit of strength. I'll pick up 200-pound batteries on job sites, stuff like that. Now, it doesn't matter. I was still in my own eyes. I was like, well, I'm not that strong of a man. And then I've seen this corona thing hit and seen men 2-3 times my size that when they walk over near me, that the sun's blotted out from a shadow from this giant behind me, and then they got a mask on and they're scared to death of this little invisible bug that has killed no one I know. And I know a lot of people across this world, they're scared to death of it. So much that they go run and grab this jab and get put into the abomination that it's turning people into magnets now. They look like Magneto off the X-Men when I was a kid and watched cartoons. I mean, this is getting crazy out here. And now I look at that and then we go that layer deeper there and I'm like, look at this crazy stuff. I'm like, that man is weak. He's weak in here. And this is worse than being weak out here. Because you can be, a lot of weak people out here can be weak, but strong in the mind. And that's what's going to get you through in the end, spirit and mind. Following Yon, believe Messiah, and keeping the commands. But my goodness, I'm just like, wow. And so, you go that layer. And then you go the one more layer deeper than that. Is that, like I said, with the rubber meeting the road, here you've got these people that are already shown that they're weak in the mind. Well, when the time comes, and they've done the Judas sold you out, and they've caved into that kind of stuff, then full-blown mark of the beast mode. And I mean, we're well on the march to it. Whenever you see that happen, you're going to see people that said they loved y'all take and do a 180 in the other direction. I sat and ate my lunch today, and I had read the book of Joshua. I was in the book of Joshua today reading. And I ate my lunch, and I stopped eating my lunch, and I thought to myself, because I was just thinking about all the times I've been so frustrated on Sabbath, or frustrated trying to walk this thing out and people just being an impediment to me. And knowing after all these years that I'm not going to course correct, this is how I'm going to walk my life, is that I'm going to probably sit in a FEMA camp one day, not by choice. I mean, for crying out loud, I mean, you want to come get me, I'll be glad to sling lead. I mean, I think going out by a bullet and just go ahead and go into the grave sometimes is probably, at least you'd be at rest. than to deal with some of this nonsense, because I'm getting tired, folks. I'm getting exhausted, mentally and physically. And I just thought to myself, though, eating lunch, I was like, man, I have to go to a FEMA camp or a death camp like Auschwitz, and I'm like, and then get my head lopped off for the truth. I'm like, you know what? If I have to do that for the witness testimony, like, it is what it is. I'm sold out at this point. But I literally prayed Most High Yah today. I'm like, just burn this place down. I'm just tired. I'm tired of it all. If you burn me up in it, please just remember me in the resurrection. Like, that's how exhausted I am with this world, folks, because there's very few of us that love y'all. I mean, like, if you really peel the layers like an onion, lip service is going on like crazy. And there's a lot of folks out here right now, too, in the Hebrew roots movement. They're nothing but racist. They're nothing but, it's like a clique thing. You know what I'm saying? There's a lot of Gentiles out here that want to bring all of Babylon with them. And it's like a Seventh-day Adventist believer kind of thing. And I'll tell you one deeper in this, is that y'all don't hear a lot about what goes on in the backstory of my life. I travel around a lot to support other ministries. I travel around a lot to speak. I'm just going to do a speaking thing next month. But I noticed recently that I told someone to contact a certain ministry, and I won't name them because they're not getting no support from me anymore after this. But I just want you to understand this stuff, because this is another teachable moment right here in this particular video. Is I sent them to them to see about water baptism, because, man, they were not far away. And they were very excited about it, and they love Most High Yah and want to keep his commands. And when they contacted them, they said, well, wait, who sent you to us? And they said, well, it was Lucas Cameron, 7 Trumps. Oh, that guy. Yeah, well, we don't do things like him, and we don't actually say it like that. And had this whole different explanation about how things going wrong. Okay, that's cool. That's cool, because let me tell you, that person, I'd known them for, I don't know, a fourth of my life, maybe a third of my life. I mean, a long time. This wasn't just any arbitrary person. And when I sent them to that particular ministry, and then them disrespected like that, and then me talk like a dog like that after all I've done to try to help them and support and promote them over the years, and never say a negative connotation that I can even think of, I was like, you know what, that's cool. I will never support you again. And I appreciate the fact, though, that we're in a time now where people are finally starting to show their colors, their true colors. Because knowing me, you can ask me straight up how I feel about you, and I'll just tell you right now. And I want to be straight with people, because I'm really trying to thin the herd of who's around me anymore, because we really need to be pulling that circle in nowadays. That if people ain't of the same mindset, the same worship mindset, the same mindset just as a whole, they need to be cut off. And it sucks. I will tell you, it's only going to get harder from here, folks, for those of us that love y'all. And you got to get your house in order. That's all I know to tell you. I mean, like, I thought about it too. It's like I lose all this, I might end up having to sleep under a bridge, just because I'm trying to do the truth. I mean, like, we've got to really add up the cost, because I guess the last thing I will say to this is, as a person that's lost so much over trying to walk out the truth, friendships, fellowship, being a deacon in a church, a home, marriage, just all this different stuff, man, just all the losses, you get to a point where you get kind of numb, and you think to yourself, what am I doing? Like, I have had this happen before. Like, I'm asking myself, like, because there's nobody else around, right? You especially like somebody keeps a lunar Sabbath. It's so easy to go to SAT day church, but if you keep this Father scriptural lunisolar biblical calendar, it's easy to go find everybody to get around on feast days, but to actually be together on Sabbath, oh no, baby, that's a struggle. And so like, when you really get down to it, where you're doing what the book says to the best of your ability, the more and more that you get to that point where you're trying to apply it to your life, the harder and harder and harder it will be to be around society, the world, family, friends, even your spouse. Because if you got unequally yoked in the beginning, or at the time it seemed equally yoked, but now as you progress to truth, they don't want to follow along, then that can end that as well. So I'm telling you, like, you've got to get that mindset that if I go this alone, is it worth it to me? And the answer at this point is still yes. Okay, for me, it is still yes. But I really think it's time that we all do a self-evaluation, mentally and physically and spiritually, because it's only going to get harder in from here. Okay, and I feel like these videos sometimes, my man, it just seems so negative, but I'm like, it is the reality that you are not hearing, and it is a reality that needs to be heard, because the sooner that you can absorb that, the sooner you can start shielding your mind to the fact that everything around us is warped. Like I said this last thing, I'm going to say that, forgive me for lying to you, especially here on Sabbath, because there's one more thing I want to say to you. We are living in a reality right now too that is warped. And what I mean warped is there's this matrix construct around us where that we can literally, like there was a gas leak somewhere, right? And they said that they took the same picture and said these were people dropping dead from corona on the street. But the actual article, original with the picture, was from a gas leak. People were passing out because the gas was, pushing all the oxygen out of the way in that area in the city, and people were getting lightheaded and passing out. But it doesn't matter what is real reality as long as that you can get that perceived in the minds of people. You understand what I'm saying? So in the very near future, when we see demons and people think they're aliens, I mean, folks, we are living in such a society and a world now that there's so much warped news and politics and everything. And like, if I see just one more freaking pride thing on this homosexual stuff for this month, I think I'm gonna snap. Like, I'm just done with it. But like all these agendas and all the stuff they're pushing, and I mean, they're coming for your seed, for your children. I mean, like in between pride and between the homosexual agenda and between the jab and all this crazy stuff, like, folks, they are after your seed. You got to understand that, because they know you're going to die at some point, but your generations after you, if they can destroy that, they've got to win. So, I mean, you've got to fortify that mind, and you've got to see people for what it is, because just because people say they're walking in the way doesn't mean that they're in it to win it with you either. So guys, I hope I've said something that'll help you and uplift you, even though these are crazy times we're living in. As always, till we see you again here at 7 Trumpets Prepper Channel, I hope Most High Yah Baruch and keep you, make his face shine upon you, show you favor, and give you shalom, my friends. In Yahushua name.